My work in this field really goes back to thermodynamics in physics. In physics, you have what's called chaos theory,
Right.
or entropy.
Yeah.
And one of the beauties, of course, of that approach is that it allows you to measure complexity.
Right.
And so I don't know if that is of interest, but I've done work in that area. In fact, I've already published a few things in that field.
Given this past experience of yours, how much do you think it would be possible to measure complexity also in systems like, information?
I have actually measured it.
Great. That's
actually
a
measured
very
it.
interesting topic. You could elaborate on it. And another interesting thing you mentioned this morning was the impact of the changes in the IT architecture on issues like bloodless warfare,
Yes.
info wars, and will be also be interesting if you could comment about what is your feeling or forecast, perception, whatever, on changes at the global level due to the fact that we are having countries like China who are becoming increasingly technological savvy.
Oh, yes.
And into a very strong positive feedback in terms of new markets, new people, new technologies, new expertise and competences, and if not lack, but at least a sort of inertia in answering to these changes by the traditional industrialized economies like North America.
Well, let's go first to metrics, because
Great.
if you, as Lord Kelvin said, if you cannot measure it, you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay. All organizations have entropy. As you know, entropy is a measure of disorder. Correct? You understand the?
I used to be a physicist.
Well, okay. So then you know what I'm talking about. So the question then is, when you look at an organization, and you can take a government agency, a corporation, Pirelli, Fiat, or anybody, it is an organization that suffers from a degree of entropy.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, how do you measure that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It turns out that the measure of entropy really goes to the fundamental issue of thermodynamics, namely the efficiency in getting work done.
Exactly.
Which means entropy or disorder is directly correlated to the amount of work that is expended,
Exactly.
for which you pay.
Exactly.
That does not contribute to your competitive position.
Right.
Now, if you accept that view, that reduces then the whole issue to a question of analysis.
Right.
And that means that you can go now into a corporation and perform two measurements. The first measurement is namely the ratio of work that is directly attributable to the customer's benefit. Okay? In other words, you have to say the customer is buying an automobile.
Right.
The customer is not buying the finance department.
Absolutely.
The customer is not buying the legal department.
Right.
The customer is not buying your taxes.
He's just buying
The utility.
chain elements that go into the value creation.
The value creation from the customer standpoint. Now, once you have taken that position, then the question is, what is the measure of customer value?
You said it was a ratio. So at the denominator, you have the work directly attributed to the customer benefit. What you have at the denominator?
Total cost.
Total cost. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is output over input.
Exactly.
Okay. It's absolutely standard metric of productivity. And by the way, I have a trademark on that.
And
It's called information productivity.
right, but on the total cost is a dimension that you can measure objectively.
Objectively.
But the work the direct attributable to customer benefit, that's more subjective.
No.
relation.
No. Oh, you see, This is where, see, I don't believe in subjective measures because they can fool you. The objective measure is the customer's utility as obtainable by a knowledgeable customer who's looking for that capability
I see. Yeah,
at the least cost. And least cost being total life cycle cost,
exactly. Yeah.
which includes fuel, insurance, maintenance, registration fees, administrative costs, and so forth. Which means a $30,000 car will cost you approximately $98,000 over the life cycle.